Hello Pisces, we're looking at the most helpful message for you at this time. So far we've got that it might be helpful for you to look at something from a different point of view. It's like you've got this piece of information and there's a different window that you could go to look at it. This could have to do with caring, unconditional love, mothering, or the loss of a loved one. And it's saying that there's a limited view. So the lens that you're looking through is limiting something that it wants you to see. When I say it, I guess we're talking about the universe here. And this could be in the realm of work, or it could be affecting you at work, how you work, or your relationships at work. Or what you do for work, right? Like maybe the way you're serving a certain client or something. Let's see. What else? We've got the time of 1 week as a relevant time frame. Gibbous moon, gibbous I think is pronounced, but I'm not sure. Is a more solidified way to feel. Okay, so there's something where you're stuck in a certain view based on the way that you feel. So you might be avoiding to feel something. By, like, if I don't see it from that angle, I don't have to feel this certain thing that I would feel if I saw that. Okay? And seeing it from this other way would mean that something you've believed all along from the time that you were parented put you in this position. So it would be a matter of kind of opening up that and then reparenting yourself. So like letting yourself be cared for in a different way on that particular topic or through that particular emotion. So sometimes this is just a matter of being present with any uncomfortable feelings that arise. We have lust coming up. There's a way to look at lust which doesn't make it necessarily sexual, but that view isn't like coming clear to me right now, even though I feel like I know that. So I think we might have to look at this as the sexual feeling of lust, but let's see. More about the career here, more about how the world sees you, and a missed opportunity. Due to a karma, which is just a loop of energy, the way that something's been going. So karma is just like a perpetuating energy. So this perpetuating energy, which was present in you from the time that you were parented on a topic, is completely affecting your career or your reputation or something. And you can't see past it, so you don't know that there's another opportunity for you. And it's just going to be that you need to come into balance on this. So whatever you think it is, it's like learning that the opposite is also true. Okay? So, let's see if we can get another row here, because I just feel like we need more information on this. It's hard for me to move these around, interestingly enough, so it feels like this is a really stuck view. It's like it would mess things up to try to look at it from a different way, because there's like a Jenga tower in their beliefs supporting it. And this is a difficult one, guys, okay? It's in your blind spot. It's a place where you don't love yourself. So let's see, when I was learning about the energy of lust, it was through just kind of looking at the difference between lust and love, right? And then we've got Narcissus, who loves himself. Are you sure what you're doing is actually loving yourself, or are you indulging in something like lust in order to suffice yourself? 7 to 8 months could be a relevant time frame for this. Are you being obsessed with some other people loving you and your reputation, right? All right, so like there was a point in my journey where I had to look at lust and like how I felt about it and what it was and all this stuff, right? Like, well, lust, it's actually a lower density energy. So though it can be fun to indulge in lusts, if you're just doing that, right, then you're anchored in the lower density. That's the hell realm, and that means that you're probably causing havoc to yourself and the lives of others, or you're at least perpetuating the hell you're already in, right? Like, you can't get out of hell through lust, right? So I had to actually even look at the way I was operating in life and realize that, like, some of the things that I did, such as wanting to be attractive to certain people or feeling like I needed certain people to think I was attractive, that was using lust in an improper way as a leverage or as a power struggle. So I let go of all that, right? Like, it's not my business whether or not somebody else finds me attractive. And in fact, it's a kind of arrogant to have to need or want that. And it's kind of arrogant to think that what somebody else thinks of my looks matters. Like, in a very, like, base, way. I understand that we want to be attracted to our partners and all that, but like in a very base way, like God made a lot of people here, right? Some are more or less attractive to other people's, right? Sure. But like, just because you deem someone unattractive to you doesn't mean they're unattractive. God created all of us, right? Like it's arrogant for us to think that we get to label somebody else as unattractive based on our opinion. Do you see what I mean? So like, I just kind of let go of all that because I realized, oh, that's just like a game that you could never win, and you just get lost if you were playing it. So from a bigger picture view, you can dip into lustful moments within the context of being in love without getting completely consumed by, having an object of lust or navigating through life on the basis of lust, which would always have to involve some sort of control or exclusion or division or power struggle. Okay. Oh, now we've got desire. Interesting. So desire can be very a strong energy, right? Like, desire can manifest. Very interesting. Okay, but you're meant to be clearing karma. All right, so you playing in this realm, right? It's like good because you're learning something. But it's also like for the purpose of clearing a karma. Like, where I was just like talking about being stuck in that, right? Like, just being in these loops of like needing and wanting and trying to control, and like all of that is like a game where no one wins. And that's the stuff that's being cleared off of Earth at this time, right? Like, we're coming into balance on all of these topics so that we can rise above them. We don't need to be stuck in them. It's not that fun, to be honest. You can indulge it only so many times before it loses its like novelty, right? But like, if you break out of the lower realms and come up to the higher realms where you're open to the quantum field, here's novelty in an infinite amount, right? Like, you're never going to run out of novelty there. Lust has been done over and over and over again on this earth for a long thousands of years time. We know about it. Are you bored yet? And it's like, Where are these desires coming from, and why are they there? And is it having to do with how you're seen by the world? Is it having to do with what your parents said you should be seen as? Is it having to do with how you believe you can survive? Is it based in survival and fear? Anything that you're doing based in fear is going to get the result that equates that. So we want to do things from love. We want to do things that indicate that we have love for ourselves. Now, when I say that we love ourselves, I don't mean that we are... Hold on. I'm just asking how to explain this. Because what I'm seeing and running into is this idea of like this selfish love that narcissists would just like suck the life out of somebody else because he loved himself. And it's like, well, how could that even be self-love? It's like if you're loving yourself, you don't need from outside of you. Okay? Otherwise you're a vampire. Let's get this straight. You know, if you're needing somebody else to approve of you or want to look at you a certain way or think you're great or whatever, you are a vampire in those moments. So when you manifest your desires, you want to do it from a very high place of self-love, because if you're doing it from any other place, you're going to experience that back at you. Like if you're trying to manipulate somebody else, enticing them with lust or indulging them in lust or desire or whatever it is, right? Like then that's going to be done to you so that you can learn. And all the while you're missing the opportunity to rise above all this stuff and to actually go into the place where there is infinite novelty, where there's new stuff all the time, not stuff that's been done. It's all been done. And you just can't see it from the window you're looking at, because from the window you're looking at, it looks really like it makes sense, right? It looks like it makes sense. Keep distance, adventure, and life of the party. Interesting. Oh, and magician. I mean, you might have really enjoyed indulging in these skills that it took for you to like make people dance for you. You know, what can you get that person to do in response to what you want or what you offer them, you know? It feels like Zeus energy. It feels like playing God kind of thing, you know? It's like when your power gets the best of you and then you end up like burying yourself or something. Like this can only go on so long, and you're being kind of shown that. Like I don't think this reading actually even says why you should not do this. I think that's for you to figure out. But you kind of probably already know. Like, is it fulfilling? All right, let's kind of clarify some of these things. Let's clarify Cirrus. This is, I don't know, I'm just giggling a little because of the fact that, like, the universe would bring me someone like this who's, you know, basically dabbling in magic and maybe even sex magic. And I giggle in the most humble way just because I know that this would be someone that I am an equal to, right? Like, because I know my own power and I understand how it works, but like I would never do this kind of stuff with this energy because I know I'm just above it, and the up here is like so much more fun and nicer and freer, and there's no karma. Like there's only good karma. Like I got stuff rolling in that you want rolling in at you, you know? And like no one's forced to try to like bow to me or make me feel special. I know what I got. I know my skills. I know my worth. I know my value. No, I'm not dependent on anyone else to do anything to make me believe it. You know what I mean? So it's like, you see how this could turn unfulfilling after you've learned all that you needed to learn from it. Okay, clarifying Cirrus. The truth. The truth is unconditional love. The truth is I heard mother knows best, but like, whose mother are you listening to, right? And maybe that's what you need to overcome. Because I feel like if you're reparenting and you heard something like mother knows best, then maybe you weren't allowed to question something, excuse me, about mother's ways or mother's beliefs. Maybe you're even just rebelling against it. But let's see. Why is Industria here and MC? This is causing a lot of chaos in your career. You're being judged there. You're being judged in your career right now. It's like, if it's not your actual career, maybe it's your spiritual career in a way. It's like, you're trying to be helped to see by this reading, I think. I think this assistance is coming through this reading. Anubis is the one who weighed the hearts to see if they were light as a feather. And this kind of indulgence in manipulation and things like that, or selfish kind of means or power struggles, it's like, is your heart going to be as light as a feather? I think you got to come into balance, right? How are you going to get into balance? Okay. Let's look at why is karma here? Why is karma here? I think you know. You know. You've been shown this. Okay, what's the missed opportunity? Why is missed opportunity here? This could be the reason in your reading of why you might want to be motivated to end the cycle. There's a certain timing. Transit is how the planets are going around in the Earth. So, like, you know, a planet is only in one position at the time it's in it, and then it takes a while for it to come back to that position. So timing matters, right? Some things have to line up. We've got new moon as a significant time frame that is relevant to the missed opportunity. And precipice. They don't want you to miss the opportunity. Oh. You may have missed it before in the past, but it's coming up again. It's about to be here. Look for when the new moon is. I don't have my phone right here, or I would look for it. But at the time you look at this reading, it's the next new moon. Maybe within a week. So they need you to know this now, because you can't see the big picture. And it's come back around. The timing has come back around. Okay. Why is limited view here? Optimist. You're glazing over it. You're glossing over it. That's the word. You're glossing over it, and you're not taking it seriously. Why is keep distance here? So from whoever you were indulging in this with, a new friend. Yeah, whoever you were indulging with this in, keep distance from a new friend. You know, that person is a match to this karmic pattern. They came in to show you the karma. So it's been highlighted for you. It's I don't want to say this because I don't think these readings should be about scaring you. But like, you're about to have a tower moment if you don't kind of open your view here, because like, you will be shown one way or another the bigger picture view. Okay. Why is sidereal here? Okay. Oh, interesting. I was just shown something that I didn't know. Alright. So in infancy. Yeah, because we had mother here. Yeah. In infancy, there is a stage where the baby mimics the parents. And this is a stage that's happening when, as a bonding. phase, right? And when the child is not like comprehending, oh, I need to mimic my mom to make her like me. No, it's just like automatically how infants do. It's primal, right? It happens below the level of awareness. They just automatically start mimicking. Now, the way humans work, and you may understand PTSD, and it happens that, you can get frozen into a moment where you couldn't process or understand an emotion or an experience, so that it gets lodged in your energy so that you can experience it later on. And you come to it in the future again, like when you get activated in it, right? I think we had the word activation here. Yes. When you get activated in it, which is also being triggered in it. And so when you get triggered in this experience again, you have a PTSD reaction, meaning you go back to that moment acting as if that moment was happening again. So your response to being activated doesn't always match the level of intensity of the moment that it's happening in, right? Well, if the connection phase of infancy, where they're mimicking, doesn't get completed in connection, if it doesn't complete with connection as the result, this can cause the infant to stay open and go through life without the level of awareness that their energy is automatically taking in others' energy in order to mimic, right? And some people who this is happening to are identifying as empaths. And they say, oh, I'm an empath. I can absorb other people's energy. And they may not realize that that is a result of that mimic stage being still open. Their boundary is not closed on the idea of mimic. And when they want to connect with somebody without the level of awareness, just like in infancy at that stage, their body automatically does it, right? Well, what I've just realized through this reading is the opposite can also happen too, where if the mimic is not productive in making a connection, you can also close down that circuit without having it completed. And so this shuts off empathy. This makes it hard for the other, for this infant who chose that method of coping, to even connect into other people's energy. Wow. Wow. So that sets you up to operate in such ways that you don't consider the other people. You're not considering how it feels to them because you don't know, because you haven't been allowed to feel it. And you're cutting yourself off from your own feelings in many cases too. Wow. Wow. I'm going to have to sit with that some more, but okay, let's take that. Remember, this is just information to reflect on. Remember, this is the first time I'm realizing it can go this way too. But it makes sense that this is what could cause somebody to go through life without the ability to feel empathy or the proclivity to process their own feelings in general. And if you don't have feelings, then how are you going to connect in a loving way to another person? No, you're going to replace that with lust. It's the curse of Aphrodite. Aphrodite was cursed that any man who looked at her in lust or love would be obsessed with her. And Aphrodite would have to know the difference between lust and love to figure that out, right? So this is pointing out that there is a difference. And you have a new friend that you've been indulging in the lust with to show you the pattern. It's been going, but you're about to miss an opportunity that you have, I just heard, that you have worked up to for lifetimes, okay? So if you find yourself a life of the party, a magician, an adventurer, someone who indulges in their desires and lusts, and who glosses over the things that, they can't solve, that looks at life through this very limited lens, and this is not a judgment of you. This might be why, and this is trying to get your attention to that, okay? I think that these things in particular came out just to get your attention on who, so you know who you are, right, in this. Because you're living it up, you know? This is... I understand why this is appealing, right? But, like, it's because you don't know what you're missing. You don't know what you're missing. Maybe you're going to a certain place for this to happen a lot. Let me ask, why is location here? You love being in that environment. And maybe it's where people support this for you, right? I'm getting like these pictures of like the big party where all the gods were there, and Dionysus or whatever. He's there, and the alcohol's all flowing, and everybody's just loving everybody, and maybe there were orgies and just like hedonism, right? And this, when I asked about the karma, it says that you understand the karma. But I want to ask some more, because I feel like if you did understand it, why wouldn't you have done it? If you know your soul wants to overcome this, if you know your soul is that powerful, why didn't you do it? Okay, talk to me about clearing karma. Why is clearing karma here? Yep, past life connection. Clear the karma. Why is clear the karma here? This is a pattern. You know you've been stuck doing this for a while. Spooky. You may be getting a lot of signs about it, especially a past life connection. There may be someone in particular you're meant to connect with, and you're going to miss that opportunity if you don't clearing this up. You're going to become increasingly sensitive to the things that you're indulging in. You are in need of nourishment, okay? So remember that infancy stage where the infant is trying to connect with the parent, and that connection doesn't get met. Now there's a break in the nourishment that the infant needs too. Like maybe this mother is also not able to pay attention to the nourishment, when it's needed, how much is needed, and things like that. And maybe this causes some sort of overindulgence in life later. There's a lot about image here and how you're seen. And this is all kind of like what it's meant to be, that you're seen while you go through this, okay? Doesn't mean you have to go through it right in front of everybody, but like if the tower comes, I think that's going to happen in front of everybody. I think you're being given an opportunity to go home and do it from home, right? And then you would like emerge into this environment as an example of something else, as an example of having cleared the karma. Yes, you're going to be stepping onto a new timeline. You're being called to it. You're on the precipice of the opportunity for it, and you cannot take these old ways with you. And this reading served as a kind of like in your face, kind of like, look at this, don't miss this. Your soul wants this. Sorry, I feel so forceful and stuff, but like that happens to me sometimes, right? Like I do try to get out of the way, and I try to get the message through, and I hear things that I'm repeating and they don't always make sense to me. And I love when that happens, but it's also a little bit intimidating. And so I'm not trying to yell at you, but like I even feel tears coming as like just the importance of this message, as please listen to this. Okay. So I'm going to end it there, and I'm going to say thank you for participating. Thank you for doing the good work for your soul and for humanity, because I have a feeling that you will be an example to humanity. And I also want to say that this is just information to reflect on, so take what is useful to you and leave the rest. Thank you.